I said I was going to be I said I was going to be here at 7, but I came a minute late. I mean, a minute early. So, you know the routine. Yes. Fair use, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for the purpose such as criticism, commenting, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Hello, Brian. Hello, Byron. He said, Diddy does it again. Let me finish reading. Byron, you already got me laughing today. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Hello, Narendra. Hello. Yes, yes. And guess what? I mean, before I start, have you guys heard of anything about it yet? As far as Diddy's sons. Diddy's sons, yes. They want their I don't know what's going on with them, but have you guys heard about what's going on with Diddy's sons? Hello, hello. Thank you for coming in. Because today we're going to talk about, as you can see, the marks, the key points. Hopefully I will get to everything today. Byron says, wait, did he have sons? Byron, was that underhanded shade? But yes, he has sons, and today we're going to talk about Diddy's sons getting in an altercation with, yes, Ray J, Brandy's brother. Yes, Brandy's brother. Also, we're going to talk about, and I just hit backspace. Also, we're going to talk about Kamala Harris' closing speech and Kamala Harris and Trump's policies. But first, we got to talk about, yes, Diddy's sons getting in an altercation with Ray J. Yes, you guys heard it right. And we're going to talk about Young Thug. Yes, Young Thug, a co-defendant, has made a plea deal. He has made a plea deal. Yes, he has. I'm going to get into it. So first, we're going to talk about, of course, I hate to do it, but we're going to have to do it today. Good morning, you guys. I hate to do it, but we are going to talk about, I don't want to laugh. It's not funny, but it's not funny, but yes, you guys are seeing what I have. Yes. An altercation happened. Yes, an altercation happened at a Halloween party in Los Angeles. And I'm going to stroll down and show the boys, the sons. You have, what is getting stuck? I feel something stuck. Yes, you have Justin Combs. Just giving you guys an idea. You had Justin Combs, who's right here. It's 4 a.m. I live in the other side of the country. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, well, I appreciate you coming in. Hey, OG Brian. Hello, OG Brand. How you doing, Brand? Yes, you guys have heard it right. If you happy and you know it, then clap your hands. Yes, no Diddy, but yes, Diddy's sons got in a huge altercation with Ray J, Brandy's brother. The sons that got in the altercation were Justin Combs, Quincy Combs, and Christian Combs. You guys heard it right. They got in a huge altercation at this Halloween party in Los Angeles, and this is who were witness. Ray J, and what you're looking at, this is actually at the party. This was Amber Rose. She was at the altercation. She was allegedly one of the witnesses. And thank you so much, Brand. Ray J was all in the mix. And I'm going to give a nice little breakdown to it. Basically, according to Hazel E., According to Hazel E., she was also there. If you know who Hazel E. is, she is a personality as well as a rapper from Love of Hip Hop. And in a recent interview, she stated what she saw. Basically, the three brothers, they were circling, and I quote, Diddy's sons. They were surrounding Ray J in a parking lot, in the garage parking lot, surrounding him like they were, I don't know, like they from the streets, like they are really about that life. Okay, so they circled Ray J. Ray J was with Amber Rose allegedly, and they were leaving the party, the Halloween party. And I want to make sure people understand, these guys are younger than Ray J. Ray J has been associated with Diddy, their father, all the way back. We can go all the way back to 2000, 2010. And basically the argument started because they are very upset with Ray J continuously doing interviews about their father. That's basically what it was all about, allegedly. And based off of what Hazel E stated, she said, I'm going to play it, and this is fair use. OG Brand says, politic, these people losing their minds. You know what? I'm going to show you. I'm glad you say that, because based off of what's been going on, this is the last thing Diddy's sons need to do. They do not need to be in any altercations. And I'm going to play Hazel E's account, just partial, because Hazel E said that she was one of the persons that got in the middle. She said she had to pull this gentleman away, Quincy Combs. Hazel E said she pulled him away. And she said the next thing she knows, and this is really going to get you guys, the next thing she knows, who came in to save the day amongst these four individuals? This gentleman right here, and I cannot make this up. Chris Brown. And this is what he had on. This was at the event of the altercation. He came out, he jumped out of his car. Byron says, Diddy tried not to get into trouble. OG Brand says, politic, the reason why I said that, because they treat these people like they God or something. Yes, they do. Yes, they treat them like they are God. And hello, you guys, please hit that like button. We are going to have a breakdown. Yes, the Diddy sons I feel like they are having a breakdown at this point, because their father is at this point still locked up at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. I feel like they are having a breakdown because they are very upset with Ray J, allegedly, because Ray J has been going around doing interviews talking about Diddy, talking about the Diddy's case and his opinion on it. And in addition to that, I just want to throw that out there, Ray J has an upcoming interview with TMZ in the third installment of a Diddy documentary. Yes, you heard it right. He will be in the third installment of a Diddy document under TMZ. And OG Brand says, politic, we need love to no lie. Hello, you guys. Please hit that like button. This is Politic Graham. And like I stated, this all happened. Byron says 187 days until the trial. Does he still make it to see the day? At this point, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. At this particular point, I'm trying to understand, will one of the sons end up getting locked up? Because the way they're moving right now, this is very dangerous waters that they're going in. And I say that because you cannot get upset with somebody just because of what they're saying. You cannot control that. You cannot control it. And the people that I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, are the sons. Yes, you heard right. Justin Combs, Quincy Combs, and Krishan Combs. They were in an altercation with Brandy's brother. And I'm going to read exactly what happened with Hazel E., the rapper, aka a TV personality from Love of Hip Hop. She said that she noticed, from her opinion, this is her, I'm going to play the video in a minute. She said in the altercation after a Halloween party in Los Angeles inside a parking lot garage, the three brothers were chest bumping Ray J. I repeat, they were chest bumping Ray J, circling Brandy's brother. And then that's when Chris Brown was in his car and he noticed all of this commotion going on. He jumps out of his car and he pulls Justin, yes, Justin and Christian Combs, he pulls them apart like he's some type of, like out of nowhere, just pulls them, and it gets even more heavier, you guys. Ray J, he is on the loose. Hazel E, she's holding Quincy back. This one right here, this one in the middle, she's holding Hazel E back, and then Chris Brown, he gets out, pulls Justin right here, and Christian Combs pulls them apart. Now Ray J is on the loose. Ray J, according to Hazel E, allegedly, Ray J runs to go get a backpack. Listen to this, what I tell you guys. Ray J goes to get a backpack. Now, if anybody has met Ray J, I've personally met Ray J. Ray J he might be 5'4" at the most in height. And that is, I'm not being funny. He goes to get a backpack. Hazel E assumed that this altercation could have went another way. Hint, hint, like what happened way back with Diddy's last case, okay? A pop came out. I'm just putting it out there, okay? So Hazel E, she said she saw Ray J run to go get his backpack after the brothers were being held back by Chris Brown and her, okay? Because had it not been for Chris Brown or Hazel E, allegedly, according to Hazel E, as well as Ray J's manager, he was there. You can't make this up, guys. Ray J's manager was there. Hazel E was there. Chris Brown was there. Amber Rose was there. Everybody is in this parking lot garage. And these three brothers, they are trying to attack, okay, allegedly get in a physical altercation with Ray J. Ray J, when he was able to be free, he runs to go get his backpack, but somebody stopped him, calmed everybody down, and Ray J's manager, Chris Brown, as well, they talked to everybody to calm everybody down, and that's how it allegedly ended. Now, why is this being brought up? Why is this being brought up? Because this is not the right move for these brothers. Why? Because Christian Combs, if you see right here, allegedly, he has currently a civil lawsuit against him. Yes. And as well as Justin Combs, this one right here, okay, he has had some issues, okay, in the past. When it comes down to allegedly, I'm just going to be very careful because I don't want anybody to come for me. He has had issues going on, so much to the point the baby mother blames Diddy for his issues that he has been battling. And I'm going to be very careful with how I say it because too many lawsuits are coming at Diddy and I don't want to be sued. Diddy currently has 122 civil lawsuits, and I don't want none of those lawsuits to come my way. So this is why these gentlemen right here, they need to stop. Stop what they're doing before it comes to the same ending as their father. Locked up. I'm just going to be honest. Now, I will say this. And I know people might disagree. But had it not been for Chris Brown, let's just be honest. Had it not been for Chris Brown, stuff could have went a whole nother way, because based off of what Hazel E said, and as well as Ray J's manager, it ended with everybody going their own way. Narendra says, allegedly, how are they look all different? Maybe not all of them are from the diddler. Yes, you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. And hello, you guys. Please hit that like button. Yes, the sons are not from, well, you know what? They're not from allegedly Diddy. The only one that is from Diddy biologically, Diddy's son is Christian Combs, as you can see. Quincy Combs, that is his adopted son. Justin Combs, allegedly, I'm going to be very careful, but you guys can connect the dots. Allegedly, that is also an adopted son. But for sure, Quincy Combs is adopted son. Why? Because his father, till this day, still speaks about there needs to be an investigation on his mother's passing. So we already know who his father is, who his biological father is, but Christian Combs definitely is the biological son to Diddy. Now, hello, you guys. Please hit that like button. Can I get a like? This is Politic Graham. We're talking about Diddy. Yes, Diddy's sons have got into an altercation with Brandy's brother. I repeat, Brandy's brother. Yes, at a Halloween party. And the person that broke it up, two of the people that broke it up, it was, and I quote, the first person, Hazel E. Anybody knows her? She's from Love of Hip Hop as well. She's a rap artist. Okay. She was at the party. She was the one that pulled Quincy Combs away first. And then the other person, and you guys are going to be very shocked, that stopped this altercation was Chris Brown. Yes, Chris Brown jumped out of his car and pulled the other two brothers away. Justin Combs and Christian Combs pulled them away, pulled them apart. And I want this to just stop at this point, because this is just getting too much. And I'm going to play a clip of Hazel E., her side of it. And like I stated, this is fair use. Fair use.
Exit the building, actually. I honestly just saw like Christian, Justin, Quincy kind of start circling Ray a little bit. Words were exchanged. Things started getting heated as we went into the parking lot. You know, I feel like chests were being bumped. Ray had a backpack, and from the last situation we were outside with the zoo stuff, he went around and tried.
Now, notice what she said. Ray had a backpack. Okay, Ray J had a backpack. That is why I say things could have went a whole different way had it not been for her. And I'm going to play her part.
I grabbed Quincy. The other security started.
Now, notice what she said. She grabbed Quincy Combs. And I'm going to say Chris Brown, okay, he jumped up out of his car because he was about to leave. He jumps up and grabs the other two brothers. And had it not, this would have went a whole nother way. And anybody who knows Ray J and how Ray J moves, you cannot be fooled by this look. You cannot be fooled by his height. Ray J is not the one to play. He is, and I quote, a cousin to Snoop Dogg. And you connect those dots. And I'm just being honest. Had it not been for Chris Brown, and also had it not been for Hazel E., the Combs sons, it could have went completely left. And this has got to stop. Why? Hello, you guys. This is Politic Graham. Kendall says, what the F is that in the bottom of the left? Of the left? On the left? Oh, right here? Are you saying right here? Okay, at the bottom, this is Mario. And this is Ty Dolla $ign. They were also at the event. Yes, they were also at the event. of this Halloween party where Ray J, Chris Brown, Diddy sons, all their sons. Henry says nothing is going to happen to anyone on his list. You're just wasting. No, I'm not going to say that. You know why I'm not going to say that, Henry? Because look at what is going on with Diddy. And if we can go back to Diddy, years ago, when there was an altercation in the club, okay, but with Diddy and Shine was at the table with Jennifer Lopez, there was an altercation, and look what happened with that. Okay, so I'm saying that to say we cannot afford another episode, and I'm going to show, because that altercation, the lady who was hit with that so-called casing, that weapon that allegedly Diddy used, okay, years ago when he was dating Jennifer Lopez, that lady said that she was talking about suing, allegedly suing, okay, because to this day she has stated that Shine the rapper was not the one that hit her. She said Shine the rapper was not the one, and she stated that allegedly it was Diddy, and Diddy should have been the one locked up. Diddy should have been the one in prison, not Shine. So I'm stating that to say this is why I said Diddy's sons are acting Diddy. When it comes down to them not having to control their temper, when it comes down to them not being able to know how to move in public, okay? Because just like I stated in the story, Ray J had a backpack. And anybody who knows Ray J and how Ray J moves, Ray J does not walk anywhere empty-handed. I'm just going to leave it at that. He protects himself, because this all is in California, and if you're walking somewhere, you have money, you're a walking sign ready to be popped. I'll just say it that way. And based off of what happened, and Amber Rose, I'm very disappointed in Amber Rose, because Amber Rose has not said anything about it, and allegedly she was in the parking lot garage. As a matter of fact, her and Ray J, they were leaving, allegedly they were leaving, and abruptly these sons, Diddy's sons, they came and circled Ray J. I repeat, they circled Ray J as if they were going to do something to Ray J. So I'm saying all of this to say they need to just calm it down. Because if we can go back, and I'm going to show it. I have to show it, you guys, because I'm being questioned right now. And I cannot continue to be questioned. This is why Diddy is in the position that he's in, because people get too comfortable. And OG Brand said it best. This music industry is so evil. I sing, but my singing is not evil. It's too much going on. It is too much going on. And this has to stop. And hello, you guys. This is Politic Graham. Please hit that like button. I am talking about, yes, you heard it right, Diddy's sons have gotten into an altercation with Ray J. And I also want to make sure we put all this into play when it comes down to Diddy. Diddy was in an altercation at a club when he was dating Jennifer Lopez. If we can go back, if we can go years back, he got into an altercation and he almost ended up going to prison then, had it not been for the great, phenomenal Johnny Cochran, rest his peace, okay? Rest in peace, okay? And at that time, because Diddy had an altercation with someone in the club because of his temper, okay? Because of his temper, and ammunition came out. And he ended up hitting somebody with this ammunition, right? This is why I'm saying you have to move very different. You have to move careful. Why? Because Diddy's sons do not have Diddy money. As a matter of fact, Diddy doesn't have Diddy money like that. Why? Because Diddy is locked up. Diddy cannot move how he used to move. And for Diddy's sons, Justin Combs, Quincy Combs, and Christian Combs, to confront Brandy's brother, put him in a surround him like they are some thugs, that is inexcusable. That is inexcusable. And I'm going to play why I say this. Why do I say this? Because the next topic of discussion, this is why, and I hope that Diddy's sons understand where I'm coming from. This is why you do not put your hands or chest bump or get into an altercation with anybody. Let's move the heck on to let's do this. YSL case, Young Thug. And yes, there was a plea. These three gentlemen that you are looking at right now, one of them, hello, thank you. Yes, please subscribe, you guys. This is Politic Graham. We're talking about Diddy's sons got in an altercation at a Halloween party. After the Halloween party with Ray J, and Chris Brown had to stop before it even went another way. Now, with the YSL case, yes, there was a plea deal. And the person that made the plea deal was the gentleman that you see on the left-hand side. They call him Quay Quay, but his legal name is Quamarvius Nichols. Okay, Quamarvius Nichols, as well as this gentleman at the bottom, Miles Farley, and this gentleman on the right, Shannon Jackson. All three of them were arrested for this gentleman being deleted. All because of rivalry, allegedly, okay? And this is what happens when you try to get upset and when you try to do certain things and move different. What is going on with this case? All three of these gentlemen are being charged, allegedly, because Quay Quay, he has copped a plea. He has made a plea. Hello, I'm unverified, and thank you for coming in. You said black people just put random letters in a chain and call it a name. You are the hello, you guys. Yes, Quay Quay has just copped a plea. Yes, he was charged. Allegedly, he was charged for deleting a gentleman, racketeering, amongst other charges in the YSL case. This is the same case dealing with Young Thug. He made an agreement. To actually plead that he was guilty of conspiracy. And that was it. Not all the other charges, including the delete charge, all of those other charges have been held as null. Now, what is the outcome of this charge and this plea deal? Quay Quay will receive a 20-year sentence. Yes, you heard right. A 20-year sentence. However, because of his plea deal, he will only have to do 7 years. Yes, you heard 20-year sentence. But I think this is nothing but a game. And this is why I want Diddy's sons to tighten up. Because this gentleman here, Quay Quay, he comes from humble beginnings, okay? And I'm going to play some videos in regards to this gentleman in the court, okay? 29 years old, and he has received a 20-year sentence. But 20-year sentence, he's not going to have to do the 20 years. All he's going to have to do is a 7-year sentence. But since he's been already locked up, the deal was given, I think he might be out within 5 years. And based off of the understanding with the judge of this YSL trial, she did say to him some of his time will be time served, but he will have to do. Narendra says, Quay Quay sounds like the Diddler next single. You guys are not right. Hello, you guys. This is Politic Graham. Yes, you read it right. Diddy's sons got in an altercation. And yes, you also read it right. Young Thug, co-defendant, has copped a plea and made a deal. Yes, and the gentleman that you're looking at in the screen, this is one of the co-defendants. Unbearable said he'll catch more charges inside. 7 years is a long time. And you know what, Verified? That is what someone else told me, because people have to understand, and they did state this in the courthouse yesterday. Mr. Nichols, aka Kway, he will not receive any special privileges. So he will be with amongst the regular people, inmates in prison. He will not receive any quote unquote protection or special privileges like Diddy is receiving special privileges. Him, on the other hand, no special privileges. But for him, I don't know if you guys call it a good deal. He copped the deal. The prosecutors made a deal, and his deal was he has to receive 20-year sentence. Another 20-year sentence, he will have to do quote unquote 7 years of prison time. But since he's already been locked up because of this RICO trial, this YSL trial, he will only have to serve hopefully just 5 years. Me, I think it's a game, because just like you said, Unverified, he could catch more charges inside of prison, because you're absolutely right. People will try you. And if anybody has been keeping up with this YSL case, there have already been a number of co-defendants injured since they have been in jail, threatened. So just imagine what might happen to Mr. Nichols when he goes to prison. Now, I'm going to play some clips of this decision that was made yesterday. Okay? And I hope that this is a lesson to people, because things can go really left, and you have to know how to control your anger. You have to know how to move different.
Indictment with your attorney, Mr. Bruce Harvey.
Yes.
How old are you?
29.
And how far did you go in school?
I got my GED.
I did not hear you.
I got my GED.
For drinks. We categorically deny any other charges to which we are substantive charges to which we are not entering a plea, and that includes gang charges. This is a plea solely to a conspiracy to violate the RICO Act. But yes, we acknowledge a factual basis to that extent, Your Honor.
Understood. All right, thank you.
Now, I'm gonna play another one. We're not done with this. And I'm showing this to say, Byron says, do you think ops winning? No. And I'm glad you asked that, because Fonnie Willis, the district attorney who presented these charges on all these defendants, May of 2022, she played herself. And I'm going to stand on that. She played herself, because the only thing that this man is pleading guilty to is conspiracy. He is not pleading guilty to anything else. No racketeering. He's not pleading to deleting this gentleman down here, because that's what they tried to pin him on. Deleting this gentleman, trying to insinuate that everything had to do with Young Thug and this rivalry on this guy. It is mess. So to answer your question, Fonnie Willis, you played yourself. Now, Unverified says plea deals are crazy. Something like 2/3 or 3/4 of U.S. inmates never stood trial. Yes, and the reason I pray that he just gets out, because I feel like plea deals are just another way to set somebody up to fail. And I say that because even in this YSL case, Young Thug, one of his brothers, he did a plea deal. And I'll talk about him on another time. But he did a plea deal, and he was not supposed to do anything once he was released. And I appreciate that, Unverified. Thank you. Ruck says, stopping in to make I hit thank like button for you, sis. I'm wrenching on mail. Thank you so much, Ruck. Thank you so much. And like I stated, yes, this is nothing but a game. This is nothing but a game. They get you to sign these plea deals, and then it's like, just think about it. I'm going to use Mr. Nichols as an example. He made a plea deal yesterday to do 20 years, okay? And he only allegedly, if he plays his cards right, all he have to do of 7 years time is just do 5 years, okay? But who's to say what'll happen to him when he goes into prison? Heck, who's to say what he'll do when he get out? Because soon as you do something, you do one thing, everything becomes none and void. And that's what happened to Young Thug's brother. Young Thug's brother, he copped a plea. He was free, okay? Didn't have to do anything but just be on probation the rest of the years, okay? And guess what he ended up doing? Getting back in trouble. And because of that, yes, now he is in prison. In prison for years, to be exact. So that is correct what you said, Unverified. I don't trust these so-called little plea deals, because it's nothing but a trick. And I'm going to play the video. Yes, Ruck, you'd be great too. Thank you for coming in. Unverified says, takes nothing for them to stick bogus, yes, charges. Exactly. Hello, you guys. Please hit that like button. And I'm going to show the next clip that was in this courtroom yesterday. This man's attorney, Bruce Harvey, the white gentleman that you're going to see with the ponytail, he's very tired, stressed out. He's lost a lot of weight. He's a very well-known, powerful attorney here in Georgia. He has a number of cases in his lap right now. One case, all this happened this week. He was in a courthouse where there was a fight that broke out. Okay, so yes, he was in one courtroom where there was a fight that had broke out, almost broke out, and then he had to go right into this particular courthouse or courtroom to help Mr. Nichols come to a plea deal. So he has a lot in his lap, a lot. And I'm going to show just how Bruce Harvey is very hands-on with this gentleman. He was very direct with this gentleman. I respect this man's attorney, because the attorney that Gunna had, to me, in my opinion, that attorney was not very straight up with Gunna because of the actions of Gunna making that plea. And you guys can put it in the comments or put it in the chat. Some people to this day look at Gunna like a rat. I'm just going to be very honest. They look at him like a snitch based off of the deal that he made, okay? Now, Gunna made it seem like he didn't understand. He didn't know. He didn't understand everything. And people, they're saying that, Gunna is a snitch, a rat. But what I can say about Quay or Mr. Nichols, the gentleman that you're looking at, who did make a plea deal yesterday in this YSL Young Thug case, okay? He stood on business, okay? He stood on business, and everything was broken down to him. And I'm going to play this clip of his attorney, Bruce Harvey, just to let you guys get an understanding where this gentleman is coming from, okay? Because with Bruce Harvey, I commend him, because a lot of people would have not taken on this case. I'm so serious.
His form, it says 29 plus. He is a birthday boy in a couple of days, and he will be 30. And at 30 years of age, he has a wife. He has got a 13-year-old daughter. He's got a 10-year-old daughter and an 8-year-old son. His wife and sister, I believe, are here in the courtroom to support him. He, Mr. Nichols, was born and raised in Atlanta, and we're at this point before I have even given my opening statement in this case.
Yes, sir.
I do want the court to know that Mr. Nichols' mother died in prison. His father was shot by the Atlanta police when he was 4 years old, and he was raised by friends and family in the Atlanta area. So he has come to this point in his life from a very humble beginning, and he has sought the support of friends in this courtroom and others in this courtroom.
Now, this is the gentleman that we're talking about, okay, Mr. Nichols. If you guys are just coming in, this is Politic Graham. This is the co-defendant that did make a plea deal yesterday in the YSL case, the Young Thug case. As you guys may know, last week, this trial was put on hold due to the negligence, and that, yes, I say negligence and mishaps of the prosecutor side with how they are handling their information and presenting their information. Okay. Now, the clip that I just showed with Mr. Nichols, you heard it right, Unverified. You heard it right. He lost his mother. His mother had passed away when she was in prison, okay? You also heard that he lost his father by the Atlanta police, okay, when he was 4 years old. So we're talking about a person that was basically raised in the quote-unquote just in society. Okay, and by different people. Unverified says some of these kids' lives are beyond tragedy. You are absolutely right. And this is why I don't feel the way it's been handled, this whole case. This is not right. Because with Mr. Nichols, I'm just going to be honest. He should have been dealt with back in 2017 or 2018, because in 2017, 2018, he was arrested. He was arrested for dealing with drugs, okay? And my whole thing is this. Why would you continue to let this guy go in and out, in and out? He's been getting in trouble all his life, in and out of trouble. Why didn't somebody step in and help this person? Why? Because just like this attorney said, he lost his mother when she was in prison. Hello, Brent. Hello, you guys. This is Politic Graham. Please hit that like button. And yes, this gentleman, he did make a plea deal. And I'm going to play the conversation of this.
29 plus. He is, his form, it says 29 plus. He is a birthday boy in a couple of days, and he will be 30. And at 30 years of age, he has a wife. He has got a 13-year-old daughter. He's got a 10-year-old daughter and an 8-year-old son. His wife and sister, I believe, are here in the courtroom to support him. He, Mr. Nichols, was born and raised in Atlanta, and we're at this point before I have even given my opening statement in this case.
Yes, sir.
I do want the court to know that Mr. Nichols' mother died in prison. His father was shot by the Atlanta police when he was 4 years old. And he was raised by friends and family in the Atlanta area. So he has come to this point in his life from a very humble beginning. And he has sought the support of friends in this courtroom and others in this courtroom.
Now, I'm going to play the judge response. Yes, you're absolutely right, Unverified. I'm going to actually pin what you just said. You're absolutely right. I'm going to pin what you just said. Please count your blessings. Please count your blessings. This and good morning, Lauren. I'm so glad you're coming in. Yes, we have had another actual a co-defendant make a plea. I don't know if it was to me at this point, I think everybody loses in this game. Everybody loses in this game because a lot of people have said with this deal being made in this YSL case, this co-defendant, he made a deal. The deal is that he will do 20 years. 20 years, he would do 20 years. That is what he's supposed to do. Out of those 20 years, he will only have to do 5. Well, finish 5, but it's 7, but he has 2 years served. Okay, so he will be going into incarceration to do the 5 years, and he will do the rest on probation. Hello, Jay. Jay said, what did he do? Yes, thank you for coming in. Basically, this is one of the co-defendants in, let me show it. He's one of the co-defendants in the YSL case. This is the case that we talked about, Young Thug. And I'm sorry I had to mention it because they made a deal yesterday. But I don't know if you was here yesterday. Young Thug, he has not made a deal. He does not agree with the offers that's being made. Yes, YSL. Yes, Lauren, YSL. They're still going on with conversations. Jay Arden says, what did the other dude do? The other dude that I just showed you guys, he was under Young Thug's record label. And I'm going to stroll back down to him so you guys can see this gentleman. And the reason I'm showing all 3 of them, because the prosecutors tried to put all 3 of these guys in the same box. They tried to put all 3 of them in the same box because all 3 of them allegedly deleted a guy in a vehicle that was found underneath a bridge in Atlanta, Georgia. Yes, you heard right. They're trying to put all 3 of these guys that are affiliated with Young Thug, allegedly affiliated with Young Thug, dealing with a charge, a delete charge. Yes, a delete charge. And it gets even more crazier, you guys. I cannot make this up. Miles Farley, the gentleman at the bottom, because of this YSL case has been going wild and crazy, this gentleman, he had to be excused from this case altogether. Why? Because his attorney, and I'm not sure if he still has the same attorney, his attorney was arrested during this case. Did you hear what I just said? While all 3 of these were being charged, his attorney was arrested during this trial because he went into the building with medication that was not in the proper bottle. Yes, and they tried to charge him for drugs. Do you hear me? Yes. His lawyer got arrested too. Yes. So because his lawyer got arrested, they excused this gentleman out of the case all together. They just excused him, the one at the bottom. Okay, they excused him, and to the point now, his attorney, he was talking about filing a lawsuit because he felt they didn't treat him right. He said what he has medication for his health. Okay, his health. And they tried to insinuate that he was bringing illegal contraband into the courthouse. Okay, and it's like they literally checked him and arrested him at the checkpoint in the courthouse. So because of all of that, all right, with Mr. Miles Farley, who was supposed to be in this current trial, okay, for deleting a guy. All three of these guys, they deleted a gentleman because of his attorney, that mishap. His trial would be solo. He's going to go, and they haven't even set a time when his trial is going to be. Why? Because they don't even know if he's going to have the same attorney. It's a lot going on. So now we're going to move to these two right here, because Mr. Miles Farley at the bottom, I mean, he's just in limbo. The only thing I can say about Mr. Farley, because they did not treat his attorney fair and they did not treat him fairly, he was allowed to go out. So he received the bond the very next day. The very next day after his attorney had been arrested. Yes, you guys, I can't make this up. After his attorney was arrested, the very next day, I guess they felt kind of guilty, kind of bad how everything happened. They allowed Mr. Farley to receive a bond. So Mr. Farley, he bonded out on a $650,000 bond. Yes, a $650,000 bond. And ever since, he's been under quote unquote house arrest. However, they did state to Mr. Farley, even though he's not in this case, he will still have to come to the court. He will still have to come. So he's not out of the woodworks yet. Let me read. Unverified said, but in Hollywood and Congress keep walking free. Exactly. Jay says, at this point, mandate a court date with an appointed attorney or otherwise, and bring forth any and all evidence. And I'm glad you stated that, Jay Arden, because that is the whole reason the case has been put on hold, because the evidence is not together. They continuously always having mishaps, and this case is a pure muck. It is a mess. And yes, Lauren, Mr. Farley, Miles Farley, they gave him a $650,000 bond. I don't know where the heck he found that money, okay? But he got out. He got out. And he's been under house arrest ever since. And they have not even set, from my research, as from my research so far, they have not set a scheduled trial date for him yet. And back to this guy, Mr. Nichols. Lauren says, honestly love hearing you in the morning. You sound like a lawyer, judge, talent, and gifted with research. Thank you so much, Lauren. I appreciate it. Just in case, hello, did I just find a black YouTube? Yeah, well, I'm going to say this is Politic Graham, and Jay Arden says, this is where a judge puts their foot down and starts telling all sides to get there together. Stipulations will be put on any party that keeps holding back the hearings and trials. Exactly. Justin, you're fine. I don't take anything personal. This is Politic Graham. I don't take things personal on this platform. I welcome anybody. I really do. But yes, Jay Arden, this is just getting out of place, because with Mr. Nichols, this gentleman, he got tired. This man has been locked up for 2 years. 2 years. And he has been away from his wife, his 2 daughters, and son. And at this point, he just wants some type of closure. And I don't know if everybody would have took the plea deal, but his plea deal was 20 years, okay? It was 20 years, and out of the 20 years, he would have to do 7 years of incarceration. However, the judge, she did state that she will allow the years he's been in jail, she would count that as time served. So Mr. Nichols, instead of him having to do 7 years in prison, he will only have to do, and I hate to say only, but he will have to do 5 years. But just like Unverified said it best, anything could happen, okay, when he's locked up, because it was also stated yesterday in the courtroom that he will not receive any special privileges, okay? So he will be going into public with everybody else. And Unverified said, yep, look how they did their lawyer. Exactly. And I want to let everybody know, with these three individuals, all three of these individuals, they are being charged with heavy charges. Heavy charges. And with Mr. Nichols, because of his plea, they did take that delete charge off, as well as the racketeering charge and other charges. The only thing that he's being charged is for one count of conspiracy. And if I think that's a good deal as far as the one count. But as far as how long he has to be charged, his time, 20 years, I don't know. I think that's a little too much. Brent says Nichols accepts plea deal, pled guilty to a RICO charge, receiving a 20-year sentence with 7 years to be served, with the rest on probation. Yes, thank you, Brent. Let me pin that. Let me pin that. And Jay Arden says, if you know you aren't guilty, folks, please do not take a plea deal. And you know what, Jay Arden? I promise you, Unverified just said that before you walked into this chat. I promise you, he or she was just saying that. Just saying that. Because plea deals are not, it's not good. But I want people to understand, this gentleman right here, he lost his mother. She was in prison. She passed away when she was locked up. His mother, his father ended up getting popped by the Atlanta police officers. So we have to kind of take this into perspective. He does not have somebody like Unverified or Jay Arden or Lauren. He doesn't have somebody like that. He didn't have nobody like that when he was young. And I'm just going to be honest. He practically raised himself. Okay? And yes, Justin, yes, he had it rough. And this is why I do not approve, and I'm not very fond of this District Attorney Fonnie Willis. And it's really sad to say, she's trying to make an example, trying to be in the spotlight, and she's running for her position November the 5th to become District Attorney again for another 4 years. This is why I tell people, you have to vote. Exactly, I agree. Unverified, you're absolutely right. Yes, because this could have been handled a whole different route. And in regards to him, he only has a GED education. Okay, he's been in and out of trouble. I mean, ever since God knows how long. And I just feel like the system did not help him. They did not help him. They let him down. And even right now, the system has let him down. And the judge in this case, her hands was bound. I can't be mad at her. There's only so much she can do. Unverified says it was designed to destroy him. Yes, you're absolutely right. Hello, Hollies. Hello, people. This is Politic Graham. We're talking about, first I had talked about Diddy's sons getting in an altercation with Ray J. They tried to act like they were real thugs, okay? But I'm also talking about this gentleman right here who actually had a real rough life, okay? He was not born with money in his pockets and a silver spoon platter. He was not like Diddy's sons were. I'm just going to be very honest. Holly says, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. What about all the people's families and lives he interfered with? What about their justice? Whoa. Naira. Hello, Naira. Thanks for coming in. Unverified says like and sub guys. Smart sister. Thank you so much. Brent says Judge Paige Reese Whitaker sentences lightly as a birthday gift. Yes, and I want to play. I'm glad you mentioned her name, Judge Paige Reese Whitaker. I'm going to actually play her response to all of this.
By Mr. Nichols, with an understanding of the consequences of doing that. And the sentence on count 1 is the sentence that has been negotiated of 20 years to serve 7, with the balance of those years to be served on probation. And that, I don't know if there are any special conditions attached to this that y'all have talked about at all.
There are no.
Now, hello, you guys, and hello, Jacob. Now, if you guys can see this judge face, she is tired, okay? She's very tired. And yes, Naira, yes, this gentleman, and we all need to pray, because this gentleman is, it's just a lot. It's just a lot. And Hollis, hello, thank you for coming in. I'm going to read what you had said. If you don't do the crime if you can't do the time. What about all the people's families and lives he interfered with? What about their justice? And my response to what you had just put in this chat, my response is the system let him down as well. Because if the system would have dealt with him years ago, okay? Because I want you to understand, Hollis, this man lost his father when he was 4 years old. Okay, and also this man lost his mother. His mother, she was in prison and she passed away in prison. So when you say things like that, you also have to kind of understand the system let him down. So when you say the families, that's why I say nobody wins in this. Nobody. And based off of this system that you're talking about, this system can affect the neighborhoods as well. It really can. And with this guy, Unverified says they hate you. Lauren says the system let him down. Yes. Unverified says it's a system. It is by design. Yes. And hello, Line Pop. Thank you for coming in. And Jay Arden says it's unfortunate because finding justice for the victims, I think, starts getting lost in the middle of the back and forth in the courtroom. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And I'm going to read. I just want people to also understand this. This case, if you can read it, as of today, I'm going to scroll down. This case has been going on 153 days. 153 days, this trial. And we still have not come to a solution overall. All we have right now are plea deals. And these plea deals that they're offering, look at Nichols' case. They gave him, his plea deal was 20 years. 20 years and 7 years to serve and the rest of probation. But I think that they're trying to set somebody up to, to fail. And yes, Lauren, you're absolutely right. She must be, I really believe she's tired. And that's why she put this case on a hold. And she's allowing the prosecutors as well as the attorneys for these defendants to try to come to some type of deal to end this trial, because taxpayers' monies are being wasted, lives are being wasted, and people are being in danger at this point. And when I say in danger, people have to move different while they're in jail, being incarcerated right now while this trial is going on. Jose says he didn't let the system help him. That's people cheat the system, and he's one of many. How? Jose, hello, Jose. Welcome. How? I'm going to replay. What? Let me read this again. I can't believe what you just said. Let me read this again. He didn't let the system help him. That's some BS. people cheat the system, and he's one of many. Whoa. Are you just coming in? Hello, you guys. This is Politic Graham. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page because I think Jose's coming in at the wrong time. I'm going to replay this particular clip to let people know what this man has been through.
His form, it says 29 plus. He is a birthday boy in a couple of days, and he will be 30. And at 30 years of age, he has a wife. He has got a 13-year-old daughter. He's got a 10-year-old daughter and an 8-year-old son. His wife and sister, I believe, are here in the courtroom to support him. He, Mr. Nichols, was born and raised in Atlanta, and we're at this point before I have even given my opening statement in this case.
Yes, sir.
I do want the court to know that Mr. Nichols' mother died in prison. His father was shot by the Atlanta police when he was 4 years old, and he was raised by friends and family in the Atlanta area. So he has come to this point in his life from a very humble beginning, and he has sought the support of friends in this courtroom and others in this courtroom.
Okay, I'm sorry. Jose, I got to break it down because you keep coming in, and I welcome you. And I'm not going to say nothing out the way because this is YouTube's platform. So I'm going to respect you, okay? And I'm going to respect you guys. Hello, this is Politic Graham. But I'm going to have to pop my chest right now, okay? I'm going to have to pop my chest. And I'm going to pop my chest because of what this gentleman said. And I'm very just, are you serious? Are you serious? Jose said people had it worse than him. Jose, I don't know anybody whose mother passed away while she was in prison. I don't know anybody who lost their father at the same time when they were 4 years old. Okay? And this man lost his father because, and I quote, his father was actually hit by the police officers. Okay? By the police. This man has been through a lot. And when I say the system let him down, the system let him down because he was young. Why didn't the system help him? These so-called the social workers. You're supposed to have social workers. You're supposed to have police. You're supposed to have actual, quote unquote, in the words of Kamala Harris, she spoke about this recently, a community. So when you sit here and say people have had it worse, you ask yourself this question: where is your mother? Where is your dad? Where are your people? Because this gentleman right here, he is not in the best situation. As a matter of fact, he wasn't even born in the best situation. So please, let's just really just open up our eyes. Now, when you say, what did he do? Nobody's perfect. And I'm not condoning anything any of these people have done. I never will. I have not, and I will never condone this. Okay? But the reason I'm talking about this gentleman is because, and I quote, Diddy, people like Diddy and Diddy's sons, they have not had it like this gentleman right here. People like Diddy's sons, they have not been in a position where literally they were born and they had to raise themselves. Okay? They have money. But this is what people who have money do. I'm going to show you what people like Diddy do when they have money and they don't have anything else to do, okay? When it comes down to helping out these communities. This is what people like Diddy do. I'm going to show a video. because this man right here, he was not born with a silver spoon. Okay? He cannot go to Halloween parties like Diddy's sons did recently and get in an altercation with somebody. Okay? Just because they didn't like allegedly what someone said about their daddy. Okay? So I'm going to show you with people who have money, who have this so-called money, what they do when they don't have anything else to do. When they don't have anything else to do. Since you want to mention that, I'm going to show you Jose. And I apologize, you guys. This is Politic Graham, but it is too much loose talking going on, and we have to stand up. This is what people with money do when they don't have anything else to do, like Diddy. This is what Diddy did. This is what Diddy did. In 2016, May the 5th of 2016. This is what Diddy did. Because he couldn't get his way. He could not get his way. And I want people to understand this. This is what Diddy did. When he doesn't get his way. And I'm going to be very frank. And I'm sorry I have to take it there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry I have to take it there. But people who have money, people can do what they want to do, and they don't have no, like nobody stops them. And I thank goodness that this video had to be released. Okay? Now, how it was released, right or wrong. Okay, you pick a side, right or wrong. How this video was released, okay, you pick a side. But at the end of the day, Diddy had money. Diddy was worth almost $1 billion. And some people say he was worth $1 billion. But this is what billionaires do behind closed doors. This is what people do behind closed doors. And Jose, you took it there. You took it there. Okay? And this particular gentleman who's in this YSL case, he didn't have a life where he can run down the hallway in a towel chasing a woman just because he's trying to get back with her or she's running away from him. This guy right here, he didn't have that option. I'm sorry, you guys. Justin K says, to be fair, Diddy wasn't really behind closed doors, then he was in the hallway. And Justin, I'll say this now, just to be fair. Okay, that particular hallway we're speaking about, Diddy paid for that entire floor. If anybody knows how Diddy moved, okay, wherever he went, wherever hotel he went, he bought the whole floor out. Okay, he bought out all the rooms. And it was alleged, okay, and this is why his attorneys are upset. Diddy's attorneys are upset. Alleged Diddy, that tape was not supposed to get out. As a matter of fact, that tape was not supposed to be seen. That is why Diddy tried to insinuate that Cassie was a liar, because he thought that tape wasn't going to ever be seen at all. But boy, was he wrong. Hello, you guys. This is Politic Graham, and I apologize, but it's just my condolences goes to the families. My condolences goes to the families of this gentleman, because I feel like nobody wins at the end, because he was given a 20 years. That was the quote-unquote plea deal for him in the Young Thug YSL case in Fulton County of Atlanta, Georgia. That was the deal. He was supposed to receive a 20-year deal, and all he has to do out of the 20 years is 7 years. And according to the judge, time has already been served for 2 of the years of the 7 that he must do in prison. But I want people to understand. And let me go back to the comments. Brent says, for being dropped, good deal. Yes, you're absolutely, look, why you think he hopped on? Why do you think, Brent, why do you think he went on ahead and said, I got to get a deal? Naira says no one helped in directing this young man's life as he grew up. You're absolutely right, Naira. And I'm gonna get this I'm gonna pin yours in the place of what this person said. I appreciate that, Naira, because the system did let him down. Jose says, excuse Miss Lady, treat people how you want it to be treated. We're just gonna go ahead. Hello, hello, MT. Thank you for coming in. Like Jose said, if he wanted to be out of jail, he would never have been. Well, we could say that if we want to, right? We could say that. Brent says Sean Puffy Combs is a monster, but not a deleter. You're absolutely right. Unverified says people had it worse. Literally a non-statement. Might as well have been the win. You're absolutely right. And at this point, I want people to understand nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. But in regards to this whole trial, this trial needs to come to an ending because of how it was handled from day one. And I want people to understand why I say this, because this particular trial, the charges were brought by District Attorney Fonnie Willis. And District Attorney Fonnie Willis herself, we have to understand. And I'm going to go back up. Let me see if it's in this one. Hold on. I want people to understand with District Attorney Fonnie Willis. Let me see if it's in this one. With District Attorney Fonnie Willis, basically with her, she has a daughter that was recently arrested here in Georgia. She was driving in the Nissan. This is a district attorney that, quote unquote, filed charges against Young Thug and 27 co-defendants back in May of 2022. This district attorney's own daughter, she was driving here in Georgia, pregnant, with a suspended license, on the phone, and she is out. She's out. But see, what really gets me with Fonnie Willis, yes, her daughter is pregnant. Allegedly, I'm going to say that because Fonnie Willis likes to come at people. So I'm going to say allegedly, but I'm going to show a video. I'm going to show a video, and yes, Rena, I have a video of where Fonnie Willis came to the place where all of this happened to retrieve the Nissan because her daughter was being arrested. So I'm going to show a video of Fonnie Willis at this location with her so-called alleged ex-boyfriend. And the reason I'm mentioning all this, because this case was not handled right. And it wasn't handled right because I feel that District Attorney Fonnie Willis, she has a lot on her lap dealing with her personal life, and it's showing how she's controlling her office, her own office. Unverified says Willis is weak, ran on the promise of convicting Trump on BS charges, then laughs and smiles, fawning over Trump at dinner the other night. Hypocrite, yes. Rena says a friend came and got a car. Nope. Nope. And it gets even odd, Rena. I'm glad you asked. The friend couldn't drive the car. The friend was with Fonnie Willis' daughter, but she couldn't drive the car. So that's why Fonnie Willis herself came to the scene with Nathan Wade. Yes. So this is why I'm saying right now with Fonnie Willis, this is what we have to deal with. She's over a district attorney's office here in Fulton County, and this is what's going on. And this is why they need to, quote unquote, drop this case, come to an agreement with all these co-defendants, including Young Thug, because this is costing this county millions and millions of dollars. And I'm glad you brought up the Trump case. The Trump case has been put on hold here in Fulton County. Narendra says, if you want the diddler behind bars, then subscribe. Then subscribe. Hello, you guys. This is Politic Graham. And Jacob, I read what you said. More, yes. And I want everybody to understand at this particular point, we have to do better. We have to do better as a community. We have to do better as a people. And when I say as a people, I don't just mean, because I don't want anybody to come for me. When I say as a people, I mean as Americans. And Americans have no color. Americans has no gender. Okay? We as a whole, we have to do better. We have to do better. Because men and people like this, you see them every day. You see them every day, and you probably walk on by. Or you probably run or go the other way. But the system let people like this down. And when you let people like this down, you cannot be upset at the consequences that happen after that. In his case, Jose mentioned it. Jose trying to say all this in the chat. But in his case, he was not giving a fair trial. He wasn't given a fair trial. Now, I'm not trying to say everybody's at fault and, you get what you deserve. I'm not saying none of that. All I'm saying is he was not given a fair trial. And Young Thug, none of these people, because I want people to also take into mind, this gentleman right here, he bonded out $650,000 bond, and they think they did him a favor. And mind you, they arrested his attorney. His attorney got arrested. Why? Because he didn't have his medication in the proper bottle, but he actually had proving of his health condition, but they still arrested him. And Lauren says, I agree. I just get going. Have a wonderful day. You should have a radio show. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it so much, Lauren. And you be safe, Lauren. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. And like I stated, with this particular case, I want people to actually just understand. And I'm going to stroll down with this particular gentleman. When you're out there in the streets, you're either going to be in jail or you're going to be down 16 feet deep. With this particular gentleman, this is what Quay, Mr. Nichols, as well as the other two gentlemen that I just showed you guys, they were charged on an indictment with his deletion. Okay? They were charged. This was one of the charges. Now with him, he was actually in a position that he was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Why? Because they found him underneath a bridge where he had been deleted inside of a car, all because of rivalry. So I want people to understand this is the situation that is going on in this YSL case. And the reason I brought him up was because of Diddy's sons. Make sure I go to that. Diddy's sons. Hold on. Go to Diddy's sons in a minute. Get to it. Hold on. I got all this stuff up on me, you guys. Hold what you got. Diddy's sons actually got into an altercation. right here. No, it's not there. Hold on, you guys. Hold on. One moment. Hold on. Oh, yes. Right here. Diddy sons, Justin Combs, Quincy Combs, and Christian Combs, they were recently in an altercation with Ray J, Brandy's brother, at a Halloween, after a Halloween party in a parking lot garage. And it's alleged that all of this started from they did not like or do not like what Ray J has been saying to the media about their father, Diddy. They basically ganged up on Ray J. And like I stated earlier, Ray J is only 5'4". Can't be, because I met him. I actually met Ray J. He can't be no taller than 5'4", because I'm taller than him. Okay, that's how I know he can't be. He can't be. I'm taller than Ray J. Now, it comes to this. I'm gonna break it down. What happened? What happened that night after this Halloween party? They got in an altercation. They were arguing at Ray J. Three men against one. 3 men against one. And that is when Chris Brown, yes, Chris Brown got out of his car and broke it up with Hazel E. Okay? And when they got in the middle, they pulled the brothers away from Ray J, okay, to help Ray J protect and stop this mess from going on. I'm going to play what Hazel E said herself. She was actually in this.
Exit the building, actually. I honestly just saw like Christian, Justin, Quincy kind of start circling Ray a little bit. Words were exchanged. Things started getting heated as we went into the parking lot. You know, feel like chests were being bumped. Ray had a backpack, and from the last situation we were outside with the zoo stuff, he went around and tried.
Now, she actually insinuated, okay? I want to make sure I give you guys a breakdown. When the brothers walked up to Ray J and they were chest bumping, Hazel E, she grabbed Quincy Combs. He was the first one that was pulled out of the group. Then that's when Chris Brown, he jumps out of his car and pulls the other 2 brothers away, Justin and Christian Combs. He pulls them away. So now Ray J is free. But when Ray J was free, Ray J ran to go get a backpack. Okay? A backpack. Oh, hello, Mrs. Shamrock. You're not late. You're just coming in. Look, you're coming at the right time. Anytime's the right time. But like I stated, with what was going on, Ray J ran to go get a backpack. Now, Hazel E tried to insinuate that things could have went another way and somebody could have been deleted. Because anybody who knows Ray J is the cousin to Snoop Dogg. Okay? And you can also connect some other dots. But I'm not gonna mention that. I'm not gonna do that to Brandon's brother. I'm not. So Hazel E stated, had it not been for her as well as Chris Brown, things could have went another way, because they both talked. They both calmed the brothers down to let them know this is not the place to present yourselves this way. You know, we can all come to a better solution and conclusion. Now, with Ray J has been going around to multiple media outlets speaking on their father, okay? And even to the point he will be in a 3rd installment of a Diddy documentary stating his opinion on this Diddy situation. And Narendra says, anytime is the right time. Yes, anytime is the right time. Unverified says, hit the like button and subscribe. Yes, you guys, this is Politic Graham that you're looking at. Thanks you for coming in. Please hit that like button. And yes, like I stated before, the sons, they have gotten in an altercation with Brandy's brother, Ray J. Miss Shamrock says, in my opinion, these kids just solidified that he would not get bail. This was just, yes, it was. That's why I said you have to move different. Because if we can also take into mind Christian Combs, as allegedly has a civil lawsuit at hand. And Justin, he has been going through issues himself. So they cannot afford to deal with any more mishaps as far as the Combs names goes. So they need to just kind of just, relax. I'll say it that way. Relax. Because Diddy still has not been received a bond. He is still locked up. And he continues to get more and more lawsuits. As I told you guys, that he had 2 new lawsuits Monday. Okay, so now on file, he has 122 lawsuits, civil lawsuits. And his trial in regards to this federal case, it doesn't start until May the 5th of next year. So this is why his sons, they're going to have to move different. Now, Regis says, I am from India. Politic Graham is going international. Thank you so much. Shout out to India. Thank you so much for coming in. And hello, you guys. This is Politic Graham. I'm talking about Diddy's children. And I hate to say they're Diddy's children. These are grown men. All of them are over the age of 25. They are too grown. And Mrs. Shamrock says, Al B. Sure needs to have a discussion with his son. Yes, and the person that she's speaking about, this Quincy Combs, that is Al B. Sure's son. Okay? However, Diddy ended up adopting him, and he ended up having Diddy's last name legally as Combs. But if we can all remember, and if you don't know, there have been differences as far as their relationship goes. Because Al B. Sure had issues in the past, he was not there. Be it either because of Kim Porter not allowing him, Quincy Combs' mother, be it Kim Porter not allowing him to be in his child's life, or due to Al B. Sure's personal past issues that he had going on. But it was enough for Diddy to come in the mix and ended up adopting Quincy legally. So this is how Quincy Combs is technically called Diddy's son. But he's not biologically Diddy's son. He's just, quote unquote, legally Diddy's son. Okay? Paper-wise, Diddy's son. But I say this, all these are men, they're over the age of 25. We have to stop this mess. Because I'm going to be honest, the biological son, Christian Combs, I think he's the one, he wants to be his father so bad. He wants to be his father so bad. And when it comes down to how he's moving, even his girlfriend is older than him. They've bought a house together. She's way older than him. It's coming to the point that he wants to be Diddy so bad. But sometimes you have to be your own person. And I say that because you cannot be upset just because of what people say about your father. Your father, Diddy, made his own He made his own, and yes, unverified, yes, it is kind of weird, yes. But your father, Christian Combs, Quincy Combs, Justin Combs, your father made his own bed, okay? He is in his 50s, okay? He has lived majority of his life. But all of you guys have enough time to get this right. And when I say get this right, start on your own slate. You guys are men. You cannot depend on Diddy now. And I say that because even when Diddy's house was raided in California, who was at his house? Justin right here and Christian Combs. They were at Diddy's house. Sometimes you have to be on your own. And you cannot excuse the things that your father is in right now. If somebody says something, let them talk. Let them talk. And as for Ray J, I'm going to say this. As for Ray J, we all know Ray J likes to be the party. He likes to be seen. Ray J is just Ray J. But one person, and we should know this by now when it comes down to Chris Brown, because he was the one that helped break this altercation up between Diddy's sons and Ray J. Anybody should know. Chris Brown is the one to know you don't need to be seen in no altercation. You don't need to get in an argument just because somebody says something about your daddy, and your daddy is currently in jail right now, looking at heavy charges. Mrs. Shamrock says, why be at these parties? Exactly. Why be at these parties now anyway? They know what is being said about their father. Seems they are looking for a yes. Why? And I'm glad you said that. I'm going to pin that because it makes no sense. It makes no sense. Why would you be in a party and your father is going through all of this mess? And I just told you, and I know they know. I know they know about the 120 charges. The first 120 charges, that the civil cases, civil lawsuits that was put against their father earlier this month. I know they know about that. So why would you want to be seen in anything with anybody at this point? Me personally, I'm just going to be honest. I'm not going to show the toddler that Diddy has, but they need to focus on keeping their family together. Because if we can go back, Diddy's mother, Janice Combs, she had to go to the hospital allegedly for chest pains, okay? So we have to kind of understand this is what they need to be focusing on. Their focus should not be on any of these people in this picture that was at the Halloween party, okay? Their focus should not be on Ty Dolla, Mario, Chris Brown, Tigger, these women, and Ray J. Their focus should be their family. Read a lot. Hello, read a lot. Yes, Narita. Diddley has a toddler. I'm surprised you don't know. I'm not going to show the daughter. I'm not trying to get sued. But yes, he does have a daughter, and that is one of the reasons I believe, and I'm going to stroll up, that is one of the reasons I believe Young Miami kind of backed away, and she kind of hinted that they had an open relationship. Okay, she kind of hinted that they were not, quote unquote, that was her boyfriend, but they were not, quote unquote, in a committed relationship. And she hinted on that, and he hinted on that because he had a baby on the way. So now there is a toddler. Yes, there is a toddler, and it's from another woman. Read a lot says, remember how everyone laughed about Pizgate? Not so crazy. Yes. Mrs. Shamrock says, and wasn't there a white girl that he was supposedly adopted several years ago? Now, okay, I think, I'm just going to be honest, I think in Diddy's case, I think he just did that for clout. I could be wrong. Look, Diddy adopts children, okay? He proved that with Quincy Combs. I'm just being honest. And as far as Justin Combs, I'm not going to say, I'm just going to say allegedly with him, okay? But with that person that you're speaking about, Mrs. Shamrock, as far as Diddy adopting a white girl, I'm not sure. I want to put that out there just yet, especially now, because if you remember the conversations that we had about Diddy, these cases that he has, these civil lawsuits, is dealing with not people that say that Diddy bothered them, touched them, or messed with them, allegedly messed with them when they were 9 years old, 10 years old, 17 years old. So I don't want to put it out there as far as that, that white girl. I don't want to put it out there just yet. But like I stated, Diddy's children are going to have to be careful how they move at this point. And hello, you guys. This is Politic Graham. Please hit that like button. Cal. Hello, Cal. Cal says Diddy is a cold. You know what? I don't know what Diddy has going on, but I hope he gets himself together while he is in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, because Ann says, how is Diddy comparable to P? Well, see, like I stated, Unverified says sold D out. Yes, sold out, because at this particular point, Diddy has a lot of things that the prosecutors can use against him. And I don't think that the Sons need to be doing anything that the prosecutors can end up using against Diddy. Does that make sense? Because it's showing with them getting an altercation with Ray J, it's showing that, okay, something's not right. Because me personally, that's looking like it could show, okay, because Christian, he has a civil matter going on, a lawsuit going on. All of this could be helping the prosecutors. All of this could be helping at this point. It could help them. And I do not want anybody affiliated with the name of Combs to be seen in a negative light. Cal says, I don't even watch. Are you keeping up with it? He's in jail. Yes. Hello, Herbal the Goddess. It's already out there. He and the white girl on the video saying that he adopted her. Now look. Mrs. Shamrock and Herbal the Goddess. Both of you guys, look. I'm not going to say it. Look, anybody, you can read it in the comments, okay? But yes, there has been a white girl that people have been speculating that Diddy did adopt, okay? And Cal says, look at the way he smiles, says it all. Oh my goodness. Hello, you guys. This is Politic Graham. And Mrs. Shamrock says, we messing up your party. No, you're not messing up my party. No, you're not messing up my party. I think Diddy has done enough for himself, okay? He has said and done enough for himself. And I did not even notice as far as how he was looking in this picture. This was just a picture of young Miami with her then boyfriend, Diddy, okay? That is why I have this picture. And I also want to show you guys this video of Diddy. This is just kind of showing how Diddy moved and how he still moves, okay? Prior to getting arrested or whatnot, per se.
They won't even give me a permit for the parties, man. They don't want me to throw the parties no more. But we ain't gonna stop. We're gonna keep on having fun, bringing people together from all walks of life. You're gonna hear about my parties. They're gonna be shutting them down. They're gonna probably be arresting me, doing all types of crazy things just because we want to have a good time.
Now, That video goes all the way back. If you can see it, that video goes all the way back to the year of 1999. And notice what Diddy said about those so-called parties back then. So just imagine the type of parties that was going on, because he had a regular party, then he had the what they call them. According to an attorney, he had parties called P parties. Then he had parties called the F off parties. Okay, so people have to kind of understand the things that were going on. Okay, and going around. That's why I say people do not know the feeling. And when I say the feeling, as far as how people who have money, billions of dollars or $500 million move when they don't have nothing to do. That's basically what it is. You don't have nothing to do but have these quote unquote P parties. And the Herbal to Goddess says they're on a video, Diddy and the white girl. I see it. Oh my goodness. And Pat, hello Pat, says who was all involved? Mrs. Shamrock said, rich people are wild. Yes. Unverified says, Pat, all of them. Cal says, all in the video. Suge was right. I don't know who knows. And it gets even more wild. I'm glad that you mentioned Suge Knight, because I'm going to stroll down with their sons. Justin, there is a picture of Justin when he was a baby. When he was a baby, he was actually at the studio with Suge Knight. When he was a little taller, yes, there was a picture of Suge Knight playing with Justin when he was a little toddler. And this was during the time his mother, I guess, she got upset with Diddy, and she was hanging out in California at a studio with Suge Knight. Okay, now I'm just gonna put it out there like that, and I'm saying that to say this is how people move when it comes down to when you deal with people who have a lot of money. Because if people have to take note, back during that time, Suge Knight was the boss on the West Coast. Okay, he was the boss. You gotta look at all the people he had on his record label. You gotta look at he had Tupac, he had Snoop Dogg, he had these so-called hitters. Okay. Timeless says rich people are real. Yes. Timeless says Suge was trying to make a union for artists. I don't know about the union part for the artists. I don't know. I don't know. Because the way Suge Knight moved, he had a temper as well. Cal says, Lil C's though, I love that guy. Everybody show that guy some love. Rest in peace, Biggie. Rest in peace to yes, rest in peace. Diddy Knox about that too. Who knows goes deep. Yes. Timeless says, look it up. And I'm going to take notes. I'm not saying you wrong. Timeless. Unverified says, you don't just talk in on music video shoots and shake down the artist if you aren't real. Yes. Lone Wolf. Hello, Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf says, the things that occupy our community's minds. Yes. Timeless says, lot of weird. And see, this is why I don't understand why Diddy's sons are putting themselves in a particular bind, in a particular situation. Because at this particular time, when it comes down to Diddy's sons, I'm just going to show this. When it comes down to their sons, they need to just do the same thing that Diddy's mother is doing. She has not been seen. The only time she was seen was when they all came to the courthouse to show Diddy some support. And I'm going to show it. This was them. When they were walking out of the courthouse. You had Janice Combs, who has the afro. You had the daughters. You had Christian Combs. You had Justin. And you had Quincy way in the back. This is what the sons need to do. They need to show support and unity for the rest of the family members. Because if we can all remember, Janice Combs, not too long ago, allegedly, she went to the hospital because of chest pains. And this is not the time to be in the news about having any altercations with anybody. Because just like the people are trying to sue Diddy, you could be next too, Christian Combs. You could be next too, Quincy Combs. You can be next too, Justin Combs. Because we live in a world, especially in a country where there is money, okay? Where people need money. And according to Kamala Harris, and according to this election, and according to what's been going on in America, we are in bad shape when it comes down to with the inflation, high costs on groceries, medications, health care, gas prices, rent, buying a home. This whole mess in America is a mess. And the last thing these three spoiled boys need to be doing is getting into an altercation with somebody who is 5'4" in height, Ray J, just because they don't like what Ray J say about their father. Because at the end of the day, you cannot erase the fact that your father is in jail. You can't. And at the end of the day, the pictures don't lie. They found 1,000 bottles of baby oil in your father's bathroom. The pictures don't lie. What else did they find? And also, the video doesn't lie. The documents don't lie. I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm going to go back to the comments. And hello, you guys. This is Politic Graham. Please hit that like button. We're having a conversation about Diddy's sons. Mrs. Shamrock said, these record executives have been on demon time for decades. Diddy just so arrogant that he is exposing everything. Yes, he's telling on himself. He's telling on himself. And I'm glad you mentioned that, Mrs. Shamrock. He is telling on himself. Because I'm trying to figure out, why would you get so comfortable with your moves to the point that you are just leaving 1,000 bottles of baby oil, okay, in a bathroom? Then you're leaving these pictures allegedly when they raided his homes. You're leaving weapons that scratch number has been scratched off. The serial number has been scratched off. That's another charge. Then to top it all off, last but not least, these are things, and I want people to understand, these are things that is already out there, okay? Everything that I'm saying is already out there. So I want people to understand, do not come for me. Do not try to sue me. All this is alleged, but I want people to know these allegations, this is all been put out there. If you don't believe me, look it up, and I will show you one of the videos that I have, that I personally have. I will show you the video that the prosecutors of the feds are using against Diddy on this new charge of this indictment. I'm going to show it. I'm going to actually show this video. Hold on, you guys. This video is already out. It's out. So this is nothing that we're hiding. This is nothing that we're just making up. And I want people to also, I'm going to play this video. Now, this is alleged. This video that I'm going to play, this was released, I want to say last week. This is an alleged video of a leaked phone call of Diddy having a conversation with a son while he's been locked up, okay? Disclaimer, fair use, copyright, section 107.
Boxes left over from the pizza. I need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes. The what? All the boxes left over from the pizza. We gonna let them have their little fun, but I'm still gonna have them out. Need you to reach out to the producer. Let these motherfuckers know there's a release date for that new Netflix movie.
Now see that particular video, I'm gonna say, and let me read Timeless. What did you say, Timeless? Men like this are tough. Only with women, never with men. Exactly. What is this real? Mr. Shamrock says, what is this real? I'm gonna play it, okay? This is actual a leaked alleged phone call that was leaked. This is just partial. I'm not going to play everything. This is just partial. I will play it again. And you guys, you tell me what you think. You tell me what you guys think. Disclaimer, fair use, copyright, section 107.
Boxes left over from the pizza. I need you to get rid of all the leftover pizza boxes. The what? All the boxes left over from the pizza. We gonna let them have their little fun, but I'm still gonna have them out. Need you to reach out to the producer. Let these motherfuckers know there's a release date for that new Netflix movie.
Now, I'm gonna ask you guys, okay? Does that sound like that is real, or does that sound like it is not? Mrs. Shamrock says, oh, this does prove that stuff is being leaked from the Fed side, though. I don't like that. Yes, and Timeless says, yes, it's real. Puff gonna get his kids locked up or worse. These people he framed have power. See, this is why I say you have to move different. You have to move different, and you have to know how to talk to people. And you can't burn bridges with people. You can't. Because when you burn bridges with people, that's when a lot of stuff comes and gets leaked out. It really does. And at this particular point, I don't know what to say for Diddy's sons, because the way they're moving like their dad is not even locked up. Timeless says, you're right, my lady. That's what I'm looking at. And Superior says, good morning. Hello, Superior. Thank you for coming in. Hello, you guys. This is Politic Graham. Thank you for coming in. The first topic today was about Diddy's sons getting an altercation with Ray J at a Los Angeles Halloween party. Then the next conversation that we had was about Young Thug, a co-defendant in the Young Thug case, has copped a guilty plea. He has made a guilty plea. And now I'm talking about the Diddy sons again to just show what happens with people who have money. And when they don't have anything else to do but just go to random parties and mess with people, getting altercations with people. Timeless says, protect our kids. We are their keepers. Yes. Mrs. Shamrock says, the irony of Chris Brown stepping in to break up a fight. And Timeless says, framing parties. Yes. And what we're talking about, thank you guys for coming in. Thank you guys for coming in. Yes. Diddy's sons was in an altercation with Ray J. The picture that you're looking at, this is an actual picture from within the party, the Halloween party that night. And this is Chris Brown on the far right. This is Ray J. And below in the next picture, that is Ty Dolla $ign to the left in a mask. And this is Mario dressed in a robe like he's Hugh Hefner. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Mario came to a Halloween party dressed like he's a black version of a Playboy Hugh Hefner. Yes. And I also wanted to make sure that Amber Rose was also allegedly in this parking lot garage because Ray J and her, they were allegedly leaving until they were met with Diddy's sons, Justin Combs, Quincy Combs, and Christian Combs. They were met with those three guys, okay? And they chest bumped Ray J. They actually chest bumped Ray J. They got in an altercation with Ray J, so much to the point, Chris Brown, you cannot believe it. Yes, this is true. Chris Brown actually jumps out of a car, breaks up this altercation right along with love of hip hop personality and rapper Hazel E. Break it up. Ray J goes free and goes for his backpack. Okay, allegedly, all this is coming about, but no one ended going to the hospital. Okay, but in the words of Hazel E., she said it best. Things could have went left had it not been for Chris Brown as well as herself breaking this mess up. Okay, and I don't know what the reasons were for these guys to get so upset, but it is word that they were upset with Ray J because Ray J, I want to make sure I read this. Ray J has been doing a number of interviews recently discussing the allegations and indictment of Diddy. So what you're looking at right here, and this is for YouTube because I want YouTube to know I typed all of this. This is everything that I prepared. This is my work. This is my work. Okay, this is not no copyright, none of that. This is my work. So I'm going to read, like I stated, Ray J has been discussing allegations and discussing the allegations. Thank you so much. Ray J has been discussing the allegations and indictment of Diddy. In fact, according to TMZ, Ray J is set to appear in its third installment of a Diddy documentary on Temu, of all places. Temu. Yes, gentlemen and women. Ray J is going to be in an interview in a documentary about Diddy, and it's going to be on Temu. I can't make this up. And according to media reports, Ray J did an interview recently and spoke on Diddy. Yes, Mrs. Shamrock. Ray J spoke in an interview recently on Diddy's circumstances, and he said this, and I quote, "We've all been around him." This is Diddy he's talking about. We've all been around him, at least in my era, and have looked up to him. And this situation is super unfortunate, but it's important to learn a lesson right now and ensure the next generation understands how to move differently with transparency and integrity. That is one of the things that Ray J has been putting out. Okay? People are speculating that's one of the reasons the sons got mad at Ray J, because Ray J has been, quote unquote, very close acquaintances with their father for over 10 years, close to 20 years. He's been very, very close to Diddy. So for Ray J to come out and say anything, it seems like they are a little bit upset. And I'm going to go back to the comments. Hello, you guys. This is Politic Graham. We're talking about a number of issues. And yes, hit that like button. Timeless says, Nickelodeon logo looks like Epstein Island. Oh, no. Narendra says, Temu, isn't it a Chinese channel? Mrs. Shamrock says, Temu. Timeless says, good work. I appreciate it, Timeless. Thank you so much. And please hit that like button and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. And $1 says Trump 2024. And I'm glad somebody mentioned about Trump, because Kamala Harris, she did have a huge, huge speech in Washington, D.C. yesterday, or should I say last night. Lone Wolf says the women of our community give their frequencies to these topics of individuals who they'll never cross paths with. Lone Wolf, I'm not going to deal with you today. Narendra says, isn't Chris Brown the one who, yes, that's the same person, Narendra. Chris Brown, yes, he did do that to Rihanna. Mrs. Shamrock says, Ray J is pretty connected in the streets from what I understand, and Snoop Dogg is Ray J's uncle. Oh, okay, I thought that was his cousin. I'm sorry. Now, hello, Viral. Viral says, Kendrick is getting pumped. Oh, my goodness. I cannot repeat that. But yes, like I stated, there has been a lot going on with Diddy. And it seems as if Diddy is always being put in the news. Yes, that's what I thought, Mrs. Shamrock. Ray J is Snoop Dogg's cousin. That's what I thought. That's what I've been saying. That's Ray J's cousin. But yes, you're absolutely correct. Ray J does have connections in those quote unquote streets, okay, in Los Angeles, okay. And I'm so tired of people trying to play with Ray J like he's really. I'm going to show him. I don't know why people try to think Ray J is really, he's really about that, okay? Don't let the hype fool you. I've met Ray J. Don't let the hype fool you, okay? And please just know Ray J does protect himself at all times. So this is why I think Diddy's sons. And the reason I'm mentioning about Diddy's sons and Herbal Goddess, I don't think you were in here when I talked about the case dealing with Young Thug. There was a guilty plea. There was a guilty plea deal that was made yesterday. And Viral says, it's because he's an R&B singer. People don't get respect when you are singing love songs. Oh my goodness. See, that's why I say people need to understand you cannot take somebody just because of what they do and how they look. You can't take them, like they can be played with. Because I'm telling you right now, if Diddy's sons, and I'm gonna go back to Young Thug's case, if Diddy's sons would have tried any of the co-defendants that's in this YSL case, if they would have tried to chest bump them and circle them, they would have got popped out. And I'm just going to be very frank. And when I say popped out, literally, okay, where are you? We don't know where you are now, okay? Where are you? And the person that I'm speaking about that made this deal, name is Mr. Nichols. Let me go to it. Mr. Nichols made a deal in the YSL case. This gentleman right here, he made a deal yesterday, and the deal was he received a 20-year sentence. You heard it right, a 20-year sentence, and he has to serve 7 years. And of the 7 years, he's already been granted 2 years served. So he would have to do 5 years of his 20-year service, and after that, do the rest on probation. That was the plea deal. And in the case, in the courtroom, this is what transpired in the courtroom. Going to show it. Give me one moment. This is what actually transpired in the courtroom. And I want people to understand, you have to be careful how you move, because in Diddy's case, everything that he has done for the over 20 years is coming back to haunt him now. Everything that he's done when it comes down to how he's treated people business-wise, how he's treated people on a relationship-wise, it's all coming back at him now. And hello, Joss. Thank you for coming. You say you from England? Hello, thank you for coming. And Mrs. Shamrock says he pled to one RICO charge, not the delete. They dropped all of the charges except one charge of conspiracy. Me personally, I want to say that was a loss really it was a loss for everybody when I tell the story, but I think on the prosecution side, this was a big loss for them because they didn't get what they want. He just pleaded guilty for one count of conspiracy. He did not get the delete charge, the racketeering charge, the other number of charges that him and the other co-defendants have been received as far as this indictment goes. Let me make sure I read everything. Timeless says, don't sleep on singers. They're more G than rappers. There absolutely are. Timeless says, men Hugh always in jail. Be sus. Yes, sus. Timeless says, Narendra says, welcome, Joss. And Timeless says, they at these parties because they want a boy toy. Narendra says, Politic Graham is going international. Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, you guys, for coming in. Timeless says, big coming for Puff. Yes, big coming for Puff. Yes, it is. Because I want to say this. If this guy did a plea deal, I'm just going to be very honest. If he did a plea deal and he received a 20 years, how much time do you think they're trying to give Diddy? Just think about that. And Diddy has a whole lot of charges. So if he received 20-year deal off of making a guilty plea for one charge, what do you think they're going to give Diddy? And Josh says, court system want money. That's all what it's about. It's about money. It's about power. Mrs. Shamrock says they needed him to plead the RICO or their charges against everyone are even weaker. You're absolutely right. They need them all together to make RICO correct. That is why I'm so glad you said that. And I'm going to pin what you just said. That is why I feel Fonnie Willis and the prosecutors of Fulton County, this was a big loss for them. And I'm going to play this for the people who are just coming in of how it went down yesterday. This first clip is from this gentleman, Quamarvius Nichols, attorney Bruce Harvey, explaining the circumstances, what background his client comes from, the one that made this plea yesterday.
His form, it says 29 plus. He is a birthday boy in a couple of days, and he will be 30. And at 30 years of age, he has a wife. He has got a 13-year-old daughter. He's got a 10-year-old daughter and an 8-year-old son. His wife and sister, I believe, are here in the courtroom to support him. He, Mr. Nichols, was born and raised in Atlanta, and we're at this point before I have even given my opening statement in this case.
Yes, sir.
I do want the court to know that Mr. Nichols' mother died in prison. His father was shot by the Atlanta police when he was 4 years old, and he was raised by friends and family in the Atlanta area. So he has come to this point in his life from a very humble beginning, and he has sought the support of friends in this courtroom and others in this courtroom.
Now, I just want people to understand what has been going on. And this is a complete, utter loss. It was a big loss for Fulton County, okay? But nobody wins in this because we also have to take into place this man has a 13-year-old daughter, a 10-year-old daughter, an 11-year-old son. Nobody wins in this. And he has a wife, okay? and he will be away from these people for the next 5 years because he will be in prison for the next 5 years. So nobody wins in this. Nobody. And it's sad because at this particular point, even with him, they're still trying to make plea deals. The other defendants, because now it is one, he made a plea deal. Now it's 5 more pertaining to this particular trial. It's 5 more that are hopefully going to make a plea deal, or they drop it. I don't know. But what I do know, this particular guy here, look at his face. DeMonte Kendrick, also known as the rapper Yacht Gotti. He has not accepted the plea deals that has been offered to him, because it was reported yesterday there was a plea deal and another plea deal offered to him, and he turned it down. Yes, he turned the plea deals down. I'm going to get into the comments. Mrs. Shamrock says, RICO is a federal charge here in the U.S. It was originally for mobsters, but it used to be for crime organizations in order to cast a wide net. Very hard to defend against. Yes, and I'm trying to understand why did the Fulton County District Attorney Office even start or try this RICO charge on 28 people? It doesn't make sense, because it's a very hard case to even deal with, and it's very time consuming. Timeless says they all turning into singers now. Oh my goodness, yes. And I will also say this before, because I want to be a person of my word. I did promise you guys that I was going to actually talk about, hello, child. Oh my God, about to call you child. Sorry. Hello, green vegan. Hello, the green vegan. Welcome for coming in. I got Chaw on my mind. Chaw, where you at? I got you on my mind. But yes, hello, you guys. Welcome to Politic Graham. I did promise you guys yesterday that I was going to talk about. Don't get me. Don't get me green. But I was going to talk about a little bit of politics. Because I did say I was going to talk about a little bit, because I did say that yesterday. There was a huge gathering in Washington, D.C. for Kamala Harris. And I'm going to actually show, it was a huge gathering for Kamala Harris. A total of 75,000 people showed up at this event. Yes, this particular event, is where Kamala Harris, she delivered her Tuesday night closing argument against former President Donald Trump and why you should vote for her. So with this particular event, I'm going to play a little clip of the particular speech that she gave that had 75,000 people watching her. And at this event, it is where she basically said the same thing that she's been saying ever since for months and months about Donald Trump. She basically said that he will be a danger if you vote for him. She also stated how we need to come together and work together as a union, as a people, and you're not going to get that if you quote unquote vote for Donald Trump. Now, Ridger says the only person that I hate more than a diddler is a Kamala. Oh my goodness. Everyone hear me out. Byron says, everyone hear me out. But I think Kamala was born in a middle-class family. And you know, that is one of the things people are very upset with the interview that she did with Shannon Sharp. But first, I'm going to play the speech, a partial of the speech that she gave at Washington, D.C. last night. They had 75,000 people show up.
But to focus on his. And Donald Trump has told us his priorities for a second term. He has an enemies list of people he intends to prosecute. He says that one of his highest priorities is to set free the violent extremists who insulted those law enforcement officers on January 6th. Donald Trump intends to use the United States military against American citizens who simply disagree with him. People he calls, quote, the enemy from within. America, this is not a candidate for president who is thinking about how to make your life better. This is someone who is unstable, obsessed with revenge, consumed with grievance, and out for unchecked power.
Now, it amazed. The reason I played that part, and hello guys, this is Politic Graham. I want to be a person of my word. I did state to my followers and my subscribers, thank you so much. I did promise you guys that I was going to talk about politics today. I did. So I am gonna discuss a little bit about that, because just like people in the comments, I don't know what Kamala Harris is trying to do, but it doesn't seem, in my personal opinion, I want you guys to know, let me know. In my personal opinion, it doesn't seem, it doesn't seem genuine when she says certain things. And I say that because when it comes down to a lot of interviews that she's done, it just seems like it's been rehearsed.
And Donald Trump has told.
And for her to continuously say what Donald Trump is, my question is, where does she really stand when it comes down to her policies? When it comes down to her so-called policies, part of the Biden administration that she's been vice president for almost 4 years, and moving forward that she says she will do when she becomes president. And I just want to say that because in an interview that she did on Fox News, she did not seem genuine when it came down to even something as much as the immigration policies and the border. And I'm going to stroll down. When it comes down to her immigration policies versus Donald Trump's policies. And hello, you guys. Narija says, I am from India. Let me be very frank. People out here hate Kamala. We all are for Trump because she is ashamed to be her own heritage. Oh, that's right. Now, Narija, you are from India. You said, let me be frank. People out here. Oh, so you guys, I thought you guys, oh, wow. David says, focus on what happened to San Francisco, where she's already governed. It's completely destroyed. We all prosper under Trump. And see, that's another thing she likes to say. And see, I was told to be very transparent, because anybody who has been following my platform, you should know where I stand as far as different things, but I'm trying to be very transparent. But you guys are saying it very well when it comes down to how people are looking at Kamala when it comes down to her policies. And like I stated, with the policies when it comes down to immigration, she had changed it. When she first got into office, remember, prior to it, she said that border wall is not going to do anything. She even promised that people would become citizens. the undocumented immigrants, they would be able to come over here. If you have a child and your child is over here, you can go on the pathway to become a citizen. Remember, she said, now this is all what's going on. Now, look what has happened. Look what has happened after all of this. We have had 6 million illegal undocumented immigrants cross over, okay, within the Biden administration. And now that so-called partisan bill that she mentions and she discusses, that Donald Trump himself allegedly, she says, he made phone calls to the Congress to tell them not to sign it, this bipartisan bill, okay? This bipartisan bill also includes to continue building this border wall. I want people to understand that. And I'm going to go back into the comments. I feel like what screwed over Trump in 2020 was his slow and ineffective response to the pandemic. Because I feel like if he had a stronger response, maybe he would have had a bigger chance in 2020. And you know what, Byron? I can't even disagree, because it was recently confirmed by Kremlin, Russia, that Donald Trump did provide the pandemic test, I can't say the C word, to Putin. Okay? He did provide that. So these are things that Kamala Harris is using against Donald Trump now on the forefront. Okay? She's using things like that against him. And I will also add into it, when it comes down to Donald Trump, I think Donald Trump can be a little bit too frank. He is a very transparent person. And that's one of the differences between Harris. Harris is going to tell you, I just want Harris to be a little bit more upfront, because we all have to understand, even when she becomes president, she's not going to be able to get that bill signed unless she does what? An emergency. Okay? She's not going to be able to get that bipartisan bill signed. Okay? Because it still has to go through the Senate and the House of Representatives. And at this particular time, this is why she's actually stating what she stated. She wants to actually have Republicans and Democrats in her administration. Why? Because she's trying to get this bipartisan bill to be signed, and she wants the Republicans and the Democrats to work together. Timeless says, bills takes years. You're absolutely right. And that's how long this quote-unquote bipartisan bill been going on. It's basically been bouncing back from the Senate and the House. When the Senate, they pass it, but as soon as it goes to the House, they don't like it. Then they take their plan to the Senate. It's just been bouncing back and forth. Mrs. Shamrock says, the black men in my life were insulted by her 5-point plan for black men, legalizing marijuana for black men. And that is another thing, one of her plans. And see, she has not really, quote unquote, spoke on it in her interviews, especially the interview that she did with Shannon Sharp. The interview that she did with Shannon Sharp, I'm going to go to my notes. She talked about everything. Except, I noticed it, she didn't mention her stance on the marijuana. Okay? And Mrs. Shamrock, you did hit a key point. She does want to legalize it nationwide, but she didn't speak on that on Shannon Sharp's platform when she did an interview. She also didn't speak about, I promise you guys, I can't make this up, for a whole hour, not one time did she speak about her father. Not one time did she mention anything about her father. But she mentioned a lot about her mother. She mentioned a lot about her uncle who taught her. And I'm not gonna bash Kamala Harris because people tend to think I bash her a lot. They think I do, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna try to be very frank, very honest. Tyler says, I'm single, Miss Shamra. Oh my, we got something going on in here in the chat. Hello, you guys. This is Politic Graham. Now, with Kamala Harris, in her interview, it seemed as if this interview was very rehearsed as far as the questions went. They already knew what the questions were going to be. I will give it to her. The first 20 minutes of this interview, I did like the interview, the first 20 minutes. And one key note and you guys are trying to link up in here. Kimberly, hello, Kimberly. How are you doing? Kimberly says, it's okay if you do. And Jungle says, you literally have been this whole time. Now, that's why I say I'm trying to be very, very neutral and transparent when it comes down to Kamala Harris. Kimberly says, it's always scripted. Now, yes, and it seems like that because in this interview, she didn't speak about her father not one time. And she did try to, I'm going to make sure I read the notes very careful. She identifies herself according to this interview that she did. She did speak on that. She said how her mother taught her and her sister how to become black women. Okay? How to become black, and they were gifted black women. She did identify herself as a quote-unquote black woman. And I'm going to go to the specific where I highlighted it. She says her mother raised 2 black girls to be proud black women. And then she mentioned saying, you are young, gifted, and black. That's what she said, that her mother kept telling her, that you are young and gifted and black. I'm going to read the comments. Jug says, why does her ethnicity matter? It's 2024. Who cares? You know why it matters? Because she makes it matter. That's why. She makes it matters. See, my thing is this. It doesn't matter if you don't speak on it. It doesn't matter if you don't make it a black and white thing, right? Because at the end of the day, we have to go off of policies. We have to go off of how you help your quote-unquote community. And when I say community, I mean here in America, period. Okay? And that's one thing I do agree with Kamala Harris when she said in the interview that she didn't understand what Donald Trump said when he asked what her about her blackness. And she said, my blackness is me being president, okay? Me being president, me being vice president. So I understand where you're coming from, but my issue is don't make it about your race, your color, if you don't want people to start to question. And that is why I notated not one time did she speak about her father in this interview at all. Not one time, a whole hour. And the interview was held, and I want people to understand this, and I'm going to show this. This interview was held in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay? And the reason I'm speaking on this was the weekend of her birthday when she turned 60, and she had Stevie Wonder perform for her at a Baptist church that was predominantly black. And she mentions this all throughout this interview. And I'm not being funny. I'm not trying to take a side, but I'm literally going off of what she spoke about in her interview. She talked about in her interview with Shannon Sharpe. I give another one. She discussed how she learned from her mother how to She mentions her name, her uncle. She learned from her mother about community. And she said with community, that doesn't mean a community as far as your family. Community also means as far as strangers. And she spoke about her uncle. She said her uncle Sherman was the first black man to graduate from Berkeley School of Law. He taught her how to play chess because that is how the world works. There are going to be different players with different moves because that's how the world works. Now, these are comments that she spoke about in her interview, okay, with Shannon Sharpe. Now, that's why I'm speaking on that. She's the one that is making it a black and white thing. And Kimberly says she's not like us. See, I'm just going to let the people in the comments speak on that. Because see, for me, anytime I say what you guys are saying in the comments, I'm serious. I'm not being funny, Kimberly, Narendra. I'm not being funny, Urban Goddess. Anytime I say what you guys are saying, then it's looking like I'm trying to pick a side. And I'm not trying to quote unquote pick a side. I'm just going off of the things that come out of Kamala Harris' mouth. Okay? And if you don't believe that, okay, even with President Obama, former President Obama, he basically told black men that if you don't vote for Kamala Harris, you are not supporting the women that have helped you along the years. Timeless says she's see, I'm not, look, you guys are saying, not me. Mr. Fix-It says she doesn't lie about everything. Nobody is that perfect. She would mess up and say something true once in a while. Once in a while. Rip, hello, Rip. Rip says Kamala needs a backhand low key. Mr. Chris, hello, Mr. Chris, hashtag mega. Thank you for coming in, you guys. I am talking about politics. I want to be kind of light because, like I said, I did keep my word now. I did keep my word. Now, I will also say, I'm going to go into this with Kamala Harris, going into my notes with this interview. She basically, throughout this whole interview, and I really believe it was because she was in Atlanta, Georgia, when she did this interview with Shannon Sharpe. And the reason I'm talking about it, I might consider showing clips about this particular interview, but I don't want to get no copyright. And the only reason I'm saying I don't want to get no copyright, because right after this interview, I'm going to show you the comments in the interview. I'm going to show you the comments. People were talking about this interview in these comments. And the comments that you're reading, these are the comments from Shannon Sharpe's interview on his page. If you can read one interview, says, "This is hilarious. I only press play to go straight to the comment section. I only wanted to see what the people had to say." The next comment, "I grew up a middle-class family that taught me the comment section is where we go first." And see, it's like people are just, they have been making jokes about this particular interview. They have been making jokes all about it. And people, and this is a heavy, heavy topic, because when it comes down to her policies, my question is, what are her real policies? And I looked up, I'm gonna go back, and I looked up her policies. Okay? Her policy, I compared it between hers and Donald Trump. I'm going to talk about inflation. She says she wants to reduce food, housing costs for the middle class and working family members, well, families. And that's for anybody who makes less than $400,000. I'm reading the comments. Thomas says, regardless, neither care for the people. Yes. Juggler says, how many are actually... I'm not going to read that part. Now, her next conversation in regards to the inflation, she has a goal to stop this price gouging from groceries, healthcare, and prescriptions. And she also said she's going to cater to first-time homeowners. She's going to help first-time home buyers and provide incentives to increase housing supply. How? By giving them a $25,000 down payment to first-time homeowners. But see, my question is in regards to that. She speaks about the first-time homeowners, and she also speaks about renters as well. But my question is, what about people who lose their homes from inheritance due to eminent domain and gentrification? Okay, so she talks about certain things, but my thing is, what about the people? You have a number of people here, especially in the South, they do lose their home from eminent domain. Okay, but with her plan, she's catering to first-time homeowners. She's catering to renters, right? So I'm going to move forward to what Trump plan is, okay? Now, with Trump plan, when it comes down to inflation, he wants to deliver a lower interest rate, and he's also deporting illegal immigrants. And in his opinion is he deports illegal immigrants that would ease the pressure on housing. That's what he thinks should happen to help with this inflation. And what you guys talking about in this chat? Hello, you guys. This is Politic Graham. We're talking about Kamala Harris, Donald Trump, and their policies, different policies. Okay, I'm going back up. People all over the world are, now Regis says, people all over the world are looking eagerly at the U.S. elections. Yes, they are. Mrs. Shamrock says, Twan, she doesn't want any sort of issue with YouTube. We all see your comment. No one worries. All opinions are welcome. What did Twan say? Where is Twan? Twan says, convenient how you don't want to read the comment that state those are bots. Twan, I read it, but I can't say certain things. Okay, Twan, I cannot. This is YouTube. This is YouTube platform. Okay. So what people don't understand, I'm not trying to put myself in the situation. Okay. I'm not. I'm going to give the information. I'm going to respectfully give the information and try to actually put it out there for people to make their own decision. Because when it comes down to both Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, at the end of the day, they don't decide who gets to vote. You decide, if you live in America, who gets to vote when you vote. And that's just being honest. So when it comes down to the taxes, and I appreciate that, Twan. It's nothing personal. You know, like I said, I just want to explain. And when it comes down to the taxes, like I stated, Harris, she wants to raise taxes on businesses, big businesses, and Americans who make over $400,000. She also wants to increase the capital, which includes giving $20,000 forgivable loans for start-up businesses. She wants to change the tax deduction from $5,000 to $50,000 to help start up businesses. Now, why does this make a big difference? In her interview that she did with Shannon Sharp, she did state, when it comes down to these small businesses, when it comes down to these first-time homeowners, she says she wants to give everybody a fair chance. Everybody should have a fair chance. And it seems as if when it comes down to the health care, when it comes down to these small businesses, her words, not mine, it seems like the black community, as well as minority communities, they are getting the small end of the stick. And that is why she, in her plan, she wants to be able to cater to all people who who feel like they do not have a chance. Now that's what she says. Trump, his promises when it comes down to tax, he promises a number of tax cuts. He will pay for the tax cuts through higher growth and tariffs on imports. Now, why does this it's making a difference, a motion? Because if we can remember, former President Obama said, and I quote, how is it he wants to have taxes on these imports such as China, but on his end, on Trump's end, this is what Obama says, on Donald Trump's end, he's selling stuff that he's buying from China, and he's trying to sell it in America. That's what Trump says. So Trump is actually, with his plan when it comes down with taxes, he wants to actually, raise the taxes on these other countries when it comes down to the imports. But me personally, what I think what's going to happen between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, whoever get it with their big plans, because either way, these are big tax deductions. These are big. And then even with Kamala Harris, she said she's going to give $6,000 child's tax credit to middle income and low income families on their first year child's life. We have to look at where the money's going to come from and how it's going to affect the country as a whole. Even if it's Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, based off of these numbers, it's going to cause an increase in the deficit. That's just my opinion, because that is a big jump. And I'm going to read the comments. Unverified said, it isn't Americans having those children. Yes. Mr. Fix-It says, if she wanted to give everyone a fair chance, she'd be doing it now. And that is what was asked of her in a recent interview. And I'm glad you brought that up, Mr. Fix-It. And this was her response to that. When they asked her about, well, you've had almost 3.5 years, and this was her response.
I will tell you that I am so sorry.
Hold on, I'm going to play it.
I will follow the law.
One moment.
It has come out of Donald Trump. People are ready to chart a new way forward, and they want a president who has a plan for the future and a plan that is sound and will strengthen our country. That his plan would be, again, to give tax cuts to billionaires and the biggest corporations in our country. And
now, she always, she pushes it on Trump. She pushes it on the Congress. She pushes it on, everybody else, okay? But the question is, why haven't you and the Biden administration done anything since you guys have been dealing with America for almost 4.5 years? And Wes Blake says it best. Hello, Wes. Says she did not answer the question. She put it back on Trump. Jamie says, hello, Jamie. Does anyone know who's winning the race? With who's winning the race as of this week, they did say Kamala Harris is leading a little bit in the numbers, but it's fluctuating at this point. It's going up and down. 1 week is Kamala Harris. The next week, it is Donald Trump. So it is fluctuating at this point, to answer your question. But like I said, this week, Kamala Harris is leading. Yes.
that has come out of Donald Trump. People.
And I'm going to actually...
Last decade, it is clear to me, and certainly...
I'm going to play one more clip in regards to how she responds to questions about she's had 3.5 years. Why hadn't she done anything?
Last decade, it is clear to me, and certainly the Republicans who are on stage with me, the former chief of staff to the president, Donald Trump, former defense secretaries, national security advisor, and his vice president. One, that he is unfit to serve, that he is unstable, that he is dangerous, and that people are exhausted.
Now, you see what's going on? That is what's going on. And that is why I say at this particular time, you have to make your own decision and you have to do your own research. Kimberly says, she said what she said. She wouldn't change anything. That's what it's giving. West says, why is she only talking about everything except the questions? Rasta, hello, Rasta. Rasta says, Vice President can't change anything. Only the president. And Rasta, you are not the only one that has said that. And welcome. Maria says, oh my goodness, you need to better school yourself if you talk this way. All I can tell you is central. Okay, Maria, let me break you down. Let me break you down. Okay? You need to school yourself. You need to open up a book. You need to have an open mind, because this is Politic Grand Platform where we welcome everybody. We don't judge. We don't divide. We do not. We work as a unity. And I'm going to let you have that, but I'm going to break that down. I don't put anybody down, and I don't tell anybody they need to go to school. Because the thing is, when it comes down to these schools that you're speaking of, this is what you get when you go to school. This is what you get. She went to school. She graduated. Okay? Now she's running for president. This is what you get when you go to school. Okay? I'm going to tell you what else happens when you quote unquote go to school. Okay? When you quote unquote get some money. Okay, when you work around in a certain chapter, certain part, this is what happens. And I'm going to talk about this particular gentleman. And yes, I'm calling him out. This is Tyler Perry. And how does he come into all of this? Because Kamala Harris, she mentioned how in the interview, when it comes down to redlining, when it comes down to people picking and choosing who they allow in their community. When it comes down to blacks and certain races not getting a fair shot. Now, Tyler Perry, when it comes down to him, this gentleman right here is the former mayor of Atlanta. He is a lawyer. Okay, he went to law school, all of that. What did he do? He sold 330 acres of property to Tyler Perry for $30 million. And he sold it into a community. He sold it into a community that needed help. And instead of assisting the community as the mayor, Mayor Kasim Reed, he went behind people's back and actually provided 330 acres to Mr. Tyler Perry in the year of 2014. Okay? And I'm going to stroll down of the questions ever since Tyler Perry has bought those so-called studios. Tyler Perry Studios. These are the questions people have been asking ever since 2014. I repeat, 2014, with how he has helped the community. Because Tyler Perry, with his studio, he has not helped the community that he has bought. Or should I say, bought the community out. So when you say somebody needs to go to school, you need to do your own research and figure out. So anytime you watch a Tyler Perry movie or a Tyler Perry show episode, you need to read a book, Maria. Because at this particular point, Tyler Perry is a billionaire. But I'm telling you right now, he has not put anything back into the community that he has this multi-million-dollar studio at. And then when it comes down to hiring these actors, I want people to understand the actors that you see. Taraji P. Henson, she was not born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, Taraji P. Henson was not born and raised. Angela Bassett was not born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. These are people that he puts in his film. These are people that he puts in his community. And I want people to understand, it's not about this quote-unquote white and black thing. It's not about this white and black thing that Kamala Harris is trying to get you guys, and certain politicians are trying to get the blacks to understand. It's not about this white and black thing, because just like I'm using Tyler Perry, Twan, I'm reading the comments. Tyler Perry is an example of people who have money and they buy a community out for their own profit, for their own personal profit gain. Okay? And at this point, people have been asking these questions for the past almost 10 years now. Over 10 years. No, almost 10 years. Almost 10 years. Question: what guarantees exist that Perry will maintain the historic properties on this site? That's a question that they asked about the location of his studios. What allowances are being made for the federal requirements to house the homeless? What assurances have Tyler Perry and the city given to the surrounding neighborhoods that will continue to sell off to the community? And that's one thing I want people to understand is, I will say this. Tyler Perry, just to check you, but real, Tyler Perry didn't go to college. Okay? And I want people to understand, you don't have to go to college or that quote-unquote school. Tyler Perry doesn't have a degree. But guess what? He found a way, and he's a billionaire. But my thing with him at this point is, what have you done for that community that you have your studio on? What have you done? Because had it not been for that studio that he bought for $30 million, 330 acres for $30 million, had it not been for that particular space in that community, he would not be a billionaire right now. So I want people to understand, when you vote, it's not about the white people are against the blacks and, well, you're not in a certain crowd and all of this. Because Tyler Perry is an example. You can make something of yourself. You can get out. But I want people to also understand this. When you get out, you got to put something back into the communities that you came from. You got to put something back into the community that you have your business in. I want people to understand that. And it's nothing, because I want to say this. It is much respect to Tyler Perry. But like I stated, it's a lot people don't know how the community has been affected or how it has not helped the community with his studio being where it is located. Okay? And I'm stating this because I personally know of a professor that lost her job once Tyler Perry moved in. Okay? I want people to understand that. And the community that it's in, it is not that quote unquote what people try to say, oh, it's a hood, it's a low income. No. It's not. You have very educated people in this community. Very educated people. But see, the thing is, when people like Tyler Perry buy it out and they just use it for profit, what do you put back into the community? Because just like I stated, a lot of these actors that he has into his projects, that are like Angela Bassett, Taraji P. Henson, they are not from Atlanta. They're not. And I'm going to go into the comment. I'm sorry I had to say that, but with Maria, she had to put it out there and make it seem like I need to go to school and all of this. I have had it. And I want people to go out there and vote. Please vote. November the 5th should be your time to shine. Vote. I'm going to go into the comments. The reader says one word publicity. Kimberly says she was at the Diddy parties too. Who you? Jog says, you think Trump is for the community? You think he has people other than himself in his best interest? Okay, Jug, I'm going to say this one more time. All I'm asking is for people to vote. If you want to vote for Kamala Harris, vote for Kamala Harris. If you want to vote for Donald Trump, vote for Donald Trump. But all I'm saying is vote. And also, I want it to be taken note. When it comes down to who you vote for, where I live, it's not just voting for a president. I have to vote for the new district attorney in my office. I have to vote for different things. So vote for your local government as well. And I say that because when it comes down to this YSL case that I've been talking about, the district attorney, Fonnie Willis, is running again for her position November the 5th. And that's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. The Herbal Goddess says, I'm voting for myself. Unverified says, facts. Thank you. Unverified says, being black is just a brand for some of these people. Their community is the stack in their wallet. Mrs. Shamrock says, local government is more important for daily life than president actually. Yes, you're right. And I will say this, Mrs. Shamrock, the only reason I'm saying that is because if anybody knows about what's been going on in Fulton County where I live, it's been a lot of talks going to Washington, D.C. from the district attorney's office. I'll just say it that way. Okay. Kimberly says, I didn't vote for either of them. I wrote myself in. Wow. Jug says, okay, no, you're absolutely right. 100% agree. Vote locally is the best way to make a change. Wes says, Miss Sham is on point. And Mrs. Shamrock says, girl, I'm from Memphis. We a whole mess. Shout out to Memphis. 2 Cent says Trump. Hello, you guys. Welcome to Politic Graham. I was just talking about Diddy. I talked about Diddy today, and let me make sure I hit all the key points. Yes. In regard, well, I'll talk about him another day. Let me make sure I hit the key points in regards to today's topics. Okay. I talked about some policies and the Tyler Perry alleged redlining in Atlanta, Diddy's sons and Ray J altercation, YSL co-defendants makes a plea deal. I'm reading the comments. Great bill today. Thank you so much, Unverified. I appreciate it. Wes says New Orleans is a whole mess too. Oh, shout out to New Orleans. Shout out to New Orleans. I want to make sure people take this into note. Before I go, I always state some positive notations at around the end. During the interview of Kamala Harris, because I don't want to make it seem like I'm bashing anybody. I really don't. I'm really not. But I did like when she said this quote, and I want people to think about this quote before I make a move. Want to make sure I state this quote. She said, and I quote, I eat no for breakfast. I don't hear no. You ask me what I eat for breakfast. I eat no. I don't hear. You cannot ever be burdened by other people's limited ability to understand who you are. Okay? And notice what, no, I'm just going to reread what she said, and I respect that. I can respect that. What she said I'm going to read this, and I want people to think about what she said. I eat no for breakfast. I don't hear no. You ask me what I eat for breakfast. I eat no. You cannot ever be burdened by other people's limited ability to understand who you are. Don't let their limited ability burden you about your own ability. And I just wanted to say that. I appreciate you guys for coming in. I'm going to give a mad shout out. Narendra, thank you for coming in. Timeless, thank you for coming in. Mrs. Shamrock, thank you for coming in. Unverified, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it so much. Mrs. Shamrock says, girl, this is your channel. Those that want to be here will stay. Those that don't can see themselves out. Don't change. I appreciate that. Timeless says, Puff love Fruity Pebbles. Oh my goodness. Shout out to Timeless. Shout out to West. Shout out to 305. Shout out to 2 Cents. Shout out to Jug. Shout out to Kim. Thank you, Goddess, the Herbal Goddess. Shout out to you. Shout out to Little Sprinkle. And shout out to everybody. Thank you so much for coming in. And I will see you guys soon. I might do a live tomorrow. I'm going to see. I have to take a break for myself at least one day. Can I get one day, y'all? Hello, John. Thank you for voting. I appreciate you for voting. Thank you so much for voting. And on that note, please have a peace of mind and always be in peace. This is Politic Graham. Bye.